Now that the S10 has been released, there has been a lot of reports about the fingerprint scanner's performance. There's been reports talking about it's too slow, it's not responsive, just plain out doesn't work, all kind of hacks and tricks to speed it up. But I have quite a different take on the fingerprint scanner. Before I get into that, let's go way back to 2013. Perfect. So why are we going back to 2013? Well, in 2013, Apple released iPhone 5S. With the release of iPhone 5S, they revamped their home button and introduced to us what's known as Touch ID. Touch ID was the first mainstream fingerprint scanner. There were other phones that were released prior to that included a fingerprint scanner, but none of those phones were well known, so we won't even get into those devices. Touch ID on the iPhone 5S used what's called the capacitive fingerprint technology. This technology used electrical current to gather data about the fingerprint. At the time when this was released, Touch ID worked well, but it wasn't fast. So you can see at the time there was room for improvement. The following year, Samsung responded with their Galaxy S5. The S5 also revamped their home button and introduced their version of a fingerprint scanner. This fingerprint scanner also was based on the capacitive technology. Capacitive technology at the time was the most widely used, so it made sense for them to also use the capacitive technology on their home button. Though both the iPhone 5S and the Galaxy S5 shared the similar design when it came to the fingerprint scanner, the implementation was quite different. The difference came in pretty much the user experience. To begin with, on the iPhone, it was just a simple tap on the home button and boom, your fingerprint was scanned and you're unlocked. Samsung, that's a different story. Samsung had this oval shaped home button, and for whatever reason, they decided that in order for you to scan your fingerprint on their home button, you had to do this weird like swipe down gesture over the home button, and that way it read the data on your fingerprint. This choice of implementation to read your fingerprint was really wonky and quite difficult to use, very hard to register your fingerprint, very hard to get a good match. You had to perfectly go straight down and at a slow but not too slow pace, and it was just a headache to use. And after trying it for like a couple days, you just turned it off and just went back to using the pattern. In 2015, Samsung released the Galaxy S6 and removed the ridiculous swipe gesture from the home button. Now all you had to do when you wanted to scan your fingerprint was rest your finger on the home button, similar to how Touch ID works on the iPhone. In late 2015, this is when things got interesting for Android. Google released Android 6.0 Marshmallow with native support for the fingerprint scanner. They also gave us the Nexus 5X and 6P with their fingerprint scanner being located on the back of the device below the camera, right where your index finger will naturally rest. This scanner was circular and also based on the capacitive technology. With native support, fingerprint scanners were fast, consistent, and accurate. So now having fingerprint scanners fully supported within Android, this opened the floodgates for more manufacturers to bring along devices with fingerprint scanners. With the floodgates open in 2016, we saw a lot of flagship devices which included fingerprint scanners. Due to its ease of use and high security, it is now being used for your device authentication, your mobile payments, your banking, and anything you can really think of. Fast forward to 2018 when all manufacturers are on a race to go bezel-less, and it's the year of the notch. iPhone got rid of Touch ID and moved on to Face ID, while all the other manufacturers have been moving their fingerprint scanners to the back of the device. While all that's going on, here comes OnePlus and their 6T. They introduced to us their in-display fingerprint scanner, which is based on the optical scanner technology. This is the first glimpse of innovation we've seen since Touch ID was introduced. Just like when Touch ID was first released, this implementation wasn't great at all. Choosing to go with the optical sensor had some drawbacks. This is one of the oldest technologies used to scan a fingerprint, and everyone has mostly moved to using the capacitive scanners. This is due to the fact that it isn't as secure and can be easily compromised. But OnePlus brought to the market what seems to be the solution to going fully bezel-less without having a fingerprint scanner on the back. A couple months following the release of the OnePlus 6T, here comes Samsung with the Galaxy S10 and their implementation of the in-display fingerprint scanner. The S10 has an ultrasonic scanner. The ultrasonic scanner uses sound waves to capture 3D data of the fingerprint. This comes with some advantages over the optical scanner. It is much more secure because it captures 3D data of a fingerprint. It works while your finger is wet, and it also can double as a health tracker that can record your heart rate and blood pressure. With all that on the secure side of things, this tool isn't perfect. It is still a first generation technology, and it does have some flaws. And some of these flaws most people have already experienced, being that it isn't as fast and as accurate as the capacitive scanners. With all new technology, it will evolve, adoption will grow, and the future is bright. There will be more devices that will be released with the ultrasonic scanner. For one, we know the Note 10 will have ultrasonic scanner on there, and we can pretty much assume that it will be a better experience than the S10. And I can also see Apple bringing back Touch ID in ultrasonic form just because of the health tracking features that the ultrasonic scanner provides. To wrap this up, I'm not giving Samsung and the S10 any pass on the usability of this in-display scanner. I just want to point out that history repeats itself. This is a first generation technology, and we will see some improvement. We probably will see some improvement within the next month or two via a software update, because the technology is there, the hardware is there. I think it's just a little bit more fine tuning to happen on the software side of things. And I feel like once the technology gets to a point, like I said, I see more manufacturers bringing it in, and for one, I could definitely see Touch ID coming back in ultrasonic form once this technology has evolved some more. All right, that's it. That's all I have. Thanks for listening. Hope the video wasn't too long. Don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. It's Joe, and I'm out.